country, on behalf of great entrants in this country, on behalf of the business people, it is my pleasure to invite our chief guest, Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, the MP for Keharo constituency. Give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much, Benson, and the Starbrands team, including Kemondo, Martin, and all the entrepreneurs in this hall. Good evening. Thank you very much. I want to be brief and direct to the point, and I had noted this is a very important event, and I also wanted to be relevant. I think I was looking for. In my other career, if you are not holding the mic, you don't feel like you are talking. Thank you very much. First of all, I want to appreciate this opportunity to be invited to this very great event today. And I must say that Starbrands, you've really done a very, very magnificent event this evening. Confirm from here, because I can see all the tables, that this is a very, very great event and organized very, very well, including the choice of your MCs, Shiko and Otosh. I also want to applaud those who came before me on this stage, my good friends, Bwana Boshe, Dr. Wasiori, and all the others who got this. Nyoro, and the two great ladies who came here, that is Joy, and I want to believe it's Anne, for that at our age, we were not that confident. And therefore, you can only do better than all of us. And the whole world and time is ahead of you. And I'm talking about the best. I was invited to talk about industry, and specifically the architecture of growth, and look one of the proponents actually of manufacturing. And I respect all the business people in this hall. Whatever business we all do, sometimes we are giving our opinions, sometimes considered opinions, and therefore bear with us when we seem to lean on one side the expected. And I hope you know what I mean by the other speech I gave another time. I always think that the state commendations that you always give as a country, Kenya, the bigger proportion of those medals and entrepreneurs and business people. I am a politician, but I am also a businessman. And I can confirm to you, in terms of heavy lifting, an entrepreneur does more than a politician insofar as the economy is concerned. Yes, we set policy, but the people who actually do the heavy lifting is entrepreneurs. The Kenyan GDP, the gross domestic product of Kenya, maybe around, could be around 18 trillion. How is it composed? And you'll be shocked probably at this. Our Kenyan GDP is service industry. Around 17% is manufacturing, what is called secondary %18 is primary production in overall. Primary production is agriculture and anything else that we produce, including mining. But out of the 65% of service, most of it is also public service, because healthcare and the rest. But there's pure manufacturing in our country. If you remove the logistics from the secondary production, manufacturing in the 80s actually to the current level. But why is manufacturing is important? Why can't we then grow what? And primary production, because it seems it's a low-lying fruit. I have never seen any economy out of primary production, out of agriculture, out of production of milk, out of production of avocados, out of production of maize, or any other form of primary. All the economies of the world, from the US, it grew on the basis of manufacturing. Why is manufacturing important? When we talk about Kenya is lagging behind Singapore, lagging behind South Korea, what do we actually mean? We are 50 million Kenyans, almost the same population as South Korea. But then one would pass that then we are more wealthy than South Korea, because our land is bigger and our people are equivalent. But what distinguishes a country like Kenya and those developed Kenyans, and South Koreans are that number, almost close to that. What distinguishes whether Kenya is a growing country or already grown, developed or developing, is productivity per worker. Is to enhance productivity per worker. And how? When you are farming, when you are doing primary production, there is something we call decreasing returns to capital. That every money you deploy is fertile, and therefore you use less inputs for more output. Then you go higher to the areas that are not as productive, where you may need to use fertilizer, where you the other side of manufacturing is that manufacturing is based on something we call increasing returns. My brother, when you are paint, the more paint you are producing, the less the unit cost. And that is why all the countries of the world have grown out of manufacturing, not out of primary production, and also not out of things like pure mining in raw form or agriculture in raw form. Now, if you look at countries that I'm mentioning, the US was ahead of many. And then I want you to look at this to see the sequence, and I'll be very brief, I'm almost finishing. US went in, grew through manufacturing, machinery, and industrialization. Then, Western Europe, there were countries through what we call, or you have heard called the Marshall Plan, which was actually developed by the US to help some 16 countries in Europe, was also about industrialization and manufacturing. And the Germany grew out of manufacturing, of course, through the impetus given by the Marshall Plan. If you look at the other developed countries, from the US coming to Europe, the other ones now comes to Japan. Japan also grew on manufacturing. Again, coming to South Korea, that took up from there. Again, the best from 1976 and 1978. Again, led by that time by Deng Xiaoping, through manufacturing. Countries like Vietnam, which came pretty later. I am here just to say that we may try all the other models in terms of the growth of our economy, but there is nothing that gives the primacy of growth in terms of accelerated growth more than manufacturing, and especially at a country where we still have to do a lot in terms of alleviating unemployment and job creation. Let me talk to business people, my last 3 points, who we are all here. As we do our businesses, and what I'm giving is my considered opinion. I don't consider that my word is the absolute truth. It can always be challenged. So what I'm giving is my opinion out of reading and out of experience. As we do businesses here, we must definitely be dynamic. A person who is here building and selling them, selling us even land on which to build our homes, must constantly think about also diverse channels across time are dynamic. And the business that is not dynamic have a very short shelf life. And therefore, I'm calling upon all of us here to know that even as we do business, the businesses that will help our country are businesses that can be scaled. That you cannot scale, increase in terms of size, increase in terms of output, then you must get something else on the side to do. If what you are selling, I'm avoiding to go to some routes because I also want to maintain friends here. Whatever business you are in, pause. Whatever that size of whatever you sell cannot be scaled, that you have to go to the next one, then think about it. But also choose a business that can be scaled. Scaled means if you are producing these microphones, then choose a business that you can produce as many microphones as and this is my main point tonight. I was reading Forbes online yesterday, I think today. There is a company called Klarna. Actually today or yesterday. And I want all of you business people to listen to this. Forget about all the other things I talked about. Let us now think about what listed. It is a company that is dealing with payment settlements. It is an IT-based, is a fintech. Out of that listing, out of the shares going up of that company after listing, the market valuation of that company became 17 billion. Something interesting happened. Out of the listing of Klarna, 40 of the employees of Klarna, 40 workers, staff. I'm not talking about investors. I'm talking about staffers of Klarna. Which is producing chips for AI. It has over 36,000 workers. 36,000 workers. Of NVIDIA employees, half of them are millionaires. I'm talking about dollar millionaires. With $1 million. $25 million at our exchange rate is around 3 billion Kenya shillings. Net worth. Of the 36,000 NVIDIA workers. The company called Microsoft had its 30th employee at a net worth of over 150 billion US dollars, is now richer than the founder of Microsoft. Billion US dollars. Underline that in my 3 statements or examples, I could give, but on that 3, from Klarna that got listed just today, to NVIDIA, which now has a market cap of, it has the highest market cap in the entire world, to Microsoft, which is also among the top 3. That staff are millionaires, staff are billionaires. That is something we have to learn in this hall. That there is intrapreneurship. That yes, you have that company producing paint, but you have to understand that some of the people working for you don't recognize that. What we do in Kenya is we live and start our own manufacturing, paint manufacturing company. If you are doing any kind of go start your own, and exactly you even pick the colors of your former employer. I'm talking to the employers in this hall. The biggest asset is the people. And if you have that company at 100%, you can always have stocks reserved for staff. And it doesn't mean whether you are listed or not, because I believe that the whole of the company than the sum total of the parts out of the people who branch from you to start their own. And instead of letting that person, if you are doing manufacturing or you are doing manufacturing of fertilizer or anything else, That person will leave, you are competing on the same market, and of course, probably, he was smarter than you as the founder. Why can't we cultivate an idea or a tradition or a culture where we do not just pay our best employees in terms of money, actually open up our companies to be owned by our staff also, so that as we grow, they grow. As they come to work, they are not coming to work for you. In the morning, they are actually coming to work for themselves. And there are examples to give there and to show. Out of that kind of culture is the reason why we are most in terms of valuation in the world. Otherwise, it will not have been an example. And I don't think it is pure coincidence that a company that is valued of their staff are millionaires, worthy more than $25 million. It is not a coincidence. It shows that that works. Open up our companies. Let us open up our companies. Because you'd rather have your stake decimated to 45%, worthy more like Microsoft, instead of starting a small minute thing where you hold by yourself, you only pay your employees, they get ideas from you, they go start their own, then we have so many small micro businesses in Kenya. Lastly, in Kenya, in Africa, in developing countries, we always want to be close to power. That a young man because of proximity to also resources. Because our economies run on patronage. That for you to get this, you know to know this, you have to know this. For you to proceed to this level, but that is not the point I want to drive home. The point I'm driving home is that the reason why we look for shortcuts in developing countries could probably be when you are looking for money, what are we looking for? And I call upon all the entrepreneurs in this hall that the money we are making from tonight, it stops being possessions and it starts being capital. Once you start looking at the money you have as capital, innovative and greed subsides. And the money we make, all the people in this hall, business owners, you've already made enough money now to live off and to live well. But we have to go higher. And I want to give the example of Nigerian billionaires. There are people in this hall who do trading. There are people in this hall who do imports from China and elsewhere. There are people in this hall who come in between. I want to use diplomatic words. You take something here, whatever it is, to sell to this other person, you make your margin in between. I don't want to say about being a broker. That's not what I'm saying, because I want to be nice to everyone here. Nigerian billionaires, what do? After we do all those jobs of being an importer, actually what they have done, not what they do. Let me use Dangote. Dangote started off as an importer of sugar. proceeded to use the same profit he made out of sugar to start sugar mills in Nigeria. At some point, he was importing fertilizer. The same profit he took or he made out of importing fertilizer, he was not satisfied with that alone, because that was majorly benefiting him. He went ahead to use that profit to start a manufacturing of fertilizer. Now we are talking about a man who has now built the biggest refinery in Africa and the fourth in the world, worth more than 20 billion in terms of the money sunk in to that project. That is the kind of mentality we must cultivate. Just by only owning for owning's sake, that we just want to make money to own things. We must make our money also be the driver of the economy by also deploying our capital into areas that whereas they are making us more money, the monies are also helping our economy. Because when we create a value people and our capital helps our economy to do even better, then the whole sum of our businesses even do or they are catapulted to even perform even better. And that our mentality about what profit is. Instead of being a possession, let us use it as new capital to be deployed into new areas. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's give him another warm round of applause.
Yes.
And on that standing note, please don't sit. The rest of you. Kila mmoja wetu simama katika sumi. From where you are, you've been sitting for a while and we're about to start. Your feet or at ease. This is she can see spread. Not so much, just kidogo ya kuweza kupiga mtu tenge kando ukitaka. You can stretch to your right. Ukisikia kabisa kama kaka, ujue age is catching up. Alright? So, I want you are nimekatalia hapo. Try. Unasikia kiuno kistretch. Unasikia kistretch. Okay, now bounce there. Bounce there a bit. Come back. Come on, alright, now your right hand on your waist. Your right hand on your waist. Yes, so that's hand touch down. Okay, now try and stretch. Not stretch. Try and bounce there. Okay. Sasa hii ndio ile. Excuse me. Hicho ameanza kuanguka kwa mawazo. Alright? So that tumbo yako isiki ka stretch. Try and go back. Okay, bounce there. Bounce there. Bounce there. Okay, in 2, 3, 1, mix up unnecessary.
Sasa tumeamka. Wewe yuko hivyo swali, right? Did you hear?
Okay. Nimenotice kama kuna watu ambao wanakula rais, wanawafanya ushers kwa kanisa na members of the fourth estate. Unaona ushers kwa kanisa hawatoani sadaka, hawaanguki, hawa nini, when things are happening they are filming.
Yes.
Paka unashindwa kwa focus. Hafanyi hizo ujinga yenye unamwambia afanye. Sasa ndiye ana adjust lens. All right, we are going to start.
We are going to start. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, are we ready?
Clap for me.
Okay? Because when it's your turn, you also want to hear that, ooh, hey, what? No, we need that. We need that. We need the hype.
Is Malindi lands receiving. Maybe you may need to come up as a team.
So we'll be giving the speech or the asante here and a picture right there at the center.
Okay. So, shall we get started?
Let's get started. All right. So, Mheshimiwa pole sana. On stage. Ladies, our team, our ushers, are we ready? Tafadhali? I hope we are. Karibu sana. And so this is the flow. This is the flow. We're going in this way, out that way. All right, so Otoyo, when you're ready, of course, you can join me back on stage. Umesema, I don't like to be lonely. This award recognizes the company that consistently receives outstanding feedback for responsiveness, problem solving, and client care in real estate. Congratulations, Optiven Group.
All right. Congratulations, Optiven. Hongera, Optiven. Hello.
Hey,
Congratulations. Congratulations. Watu magazeti. Watu magazeti sasa nikawaona.
Like us to redirect our winners, let us know. Asante sana. Thank you so much. We want the energy that we are seeing someone known as Tariq from TV47 has this night. I like the woos. Ladies and gentlemen, you see what she's doing? That's the energy we need. Thank you, Tariq. Ladies and gentlemen, the most preferred, affordable, and timely issuance of title deeds in the diaspora market. Okay, so recognition of the real estate company with exceptional dedication to setting the gold standard for serving the unique needs of the Kenyan diaspora. Congratulations, Nyota Njema Real Estate. Nyota Njema.
I love it. The fastest growing premium ladies flower brand in Kenya, demonstrating significant expansion in sales, market share, and consumer adoption. Congratulations, Nice Extra Premium.
Nice Extra Premium, ladies and gentlemen. Nice Extra Premium.
This is
very nice. Very nice. Hello.
And before you leave stage, please receive this. Honorable Ndindi, please have this over as well. Alright, before you leave, before nice group, tafadhali, one last picture.
Hii yenye itakuwa kwa standard hapo juu.
Asante sana DJ. Alright, so we still have 6 more to go. Alright, moving on to our next category. When it comes to tour and travel, remarkable and rapid growth in the Kenya tourism industry, exhibiting a significant expansion in clientele, market research, and service innovation. This is the fastest growing tours and travel company in Kenya. Congratulations, Adequate Safaris Limited. Did you guys just hire influencers? So it's a model type of things.
situation going on. Gentlemen, you agree, you're not doing for ladies, huh? So how do you guys pay attention and what? Yes, somebody, are you guys ready? Come on, let us give you our award. For coming up with that, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, lovely ladies. Alright. So Together as One Investment Limited is up next on stage. We would like to congratulate you for the most preferred and customer-friendly microfinance in Kenya. Where is Together as One or the other team members? Sit. Make a U-turn. And of course, welcome to receive your second award. They asked the companies, and in regards to the Together as One investment group, they are obviously being recognized for becoming a trusted financial we can have
George Washuri, tafadhali of Optimal on stage to help us hand out our next batch of awards.
Alright.
Aya, you know what you need to do, okay?
Alright. Jamani, watu wa picha wametoa kabisa. Mungu anawaona. Watu wa media, Mungu anawaona kabisa. Hizi microphone mega chini. Shetani atawaona sura. Alright, we can sort it out. This is Dr. Ashuri. You are one of the next few recipients. Alright. There's many short films that was supposed to receive, but they've not been represented, so we will look at that one. The first on this category is Naivera Holdings Limited. Naivera Holdings Limited. It is the most trusted developer of passive income housing investments. Ladies and gentlemen, Naivera Holdings Limited. Let's appreciate Naivera. Thank you, all of you.
The next one celebrates a real estate company that has demonstrated exceptional potential, innovation, and growth in Kenya's competitive property market, distinguishing itself through visionary leadership, strategic project execution, and clear commitment to redefining industry.